Hi, you guys. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Karen Odd, and these are Karen's Oddities, although we haven't really gotten into any of the odd subjects that I'd like to cover just yet. My channel was recently started about 2.5 weeks ago, and at this time, I'm really doing videos based on what I'm being called and feeling called to do videos on. Today's video, I wanted to focus on, there's my dog in the background. I wanted to focus on, he's gonna hack up. We're both a little bit under the weather. I have a cough and he has something going on, but he's gone to the vet and he's gotten medication and we're getting better. Sorry about that. If you have headphones, I probably just made you deaf. I wanted to talk about coincidences. The reality is that nothing in this world or life, in your world or life, is a coincidence. Nothing happens by chance, by luck, by fate, without reason. Every single thing that we experience and every single place, position, and moment in which we find ourselves in, every single person we connect to and connect with, every single thought we have, there is a greater purpose. And the more I have learned to start paying attention and listening, and the more I have learned to focus internally, I'm finding that the pieces of the puzzle are connecting together for me. When I am looking for an answer, I'm also finding that I am getting those answers much sooner, right? They're coming to me through different mediums, whether that's dreams, whether that's thoughts, whether that's music. The moment you start to listen and listen inward, the universe, God, spirit, whatever you want to call it, your greater purpose is going to really speak to you. It's going to speak to you through every means possible, because there is a greater conscience that is always trying to guide us to our true life purpose, always trying to guide us to where we are intended to be, who we are intended to be, who we are intended to be surrounded by. Today, I went on a date, and I'm starting to realize maybe I may be a serial dater, but I think that that's a subject for another video. I went on a date today. I met this man. When did I go to the store? Not the point. I met him maybe 4 days ago. I was at the store. He said he usually doesn't approach women, whatever. He approached me and I rocked with his vibe. So I said, what the heck? Yeah. I gave him my number. We talked the last 2-3 days. We had phone conversations, exchange a few texts. And then we decided let's meet up, let's go have dinner. So the plan was to do dinner today. I'm trying to keep myself from coughing. Oh, sorry, Jack. I did take cough medicine. It's just kicking in. Point is, I met with this man today and we went out to dinner. We had a great time, by the way. Great conversation, laughter, joking, good food, super respectful. Not the point. Stay tuned on where that connection goes. At some point in our conversation, he's older, a little bit. His name much older, pretty older. He's older than me. And I asked, when is the last time you went on a date? And he had to think about it for a moment, and then he said it was 6 months. And he talked about how women really don't approach him, that usually it's older women that are in their 60s, that they have control issues. And we just started going kind of down a rabbit hole. And it was kind of asking me to compare myself to someone that's 60. And it's, it's there's just different levels in dating is essentially what he was talking about. And I talked about some of my insecurities, right? This dog decided to just chill right there. That distracted me. I talked a bit about my insecurities, and he talked about his very candidly and very openly. And I was finding that we started getting into like what I call the deep end of the pool. So when I'm talking with someone and we're in the deep end of the pool, mind you, I don't know how to swim. I need to learn. Wow, this cough is really going to screw things up. Sometimes when you talk to people, you end up in the deep end of the pool. And when you're in the deep end of the pool is when you're having conversations about things that make you or them vulnerable, past trauma, current trauma, hurt, essentially suppressed emotions that you really don't want to deal with. And I found that we were entering that deep, like 15 feet deep, dark end of the pool. And, you know, he was saying like, you know, I'm just this, I'm just that, basically like downing who he is and how he shows up in the world. And I'm like, you know, you're more than that. Like, he's very handsome. He's super handsome, smart, respectful. Like, he has a lot to offer, but he doesn't see that. And, you know, I talked about my insecurities, how I don't see the way that people view me, which is unfortunate. And, you know, we talked about how I was like, I need therapy. And he's like, you probably do. And he's like, we all do. And it's true. I think that we all have past trauma, whether it's from childhood, adolescence, recent life experiences, that we don't always work through them. And that doesn't help us as we develop, right? They're scars that stay with us. And if we don't work through them and identify what the issues were and identify that we weren't necessarily the issue and forgive ourselves and move past it, it's something that we carry with us. I noticed that our conversation was going into the deep end of the pool because I could see his eyes tear up. And he said, you know, I can't remember everything because we talk about a lot of things, right? But he said, you know, no, that's not my problem. He said, my problem is, and then his eyes started tearing up. And I said, what is your problem? Like, I want to know. Like, I want to dive head first into the deep end of the pool, because I think that when you get into those conversations, it's so important to like get into it. I was just gonna start singing, but I won't do that to you guys. But get into it. And get into every emotion, the thought, and explore it. Like, therapy doesn't always have to be with a professional, although probably it is recommended, right? Therapy can be a lot of things. Therapy can be self-care, bubble baths, naps, reading, eating healthy, getting a massage, getting a facial, having conversations with your friends, venting, writing, blogging. Therapy is so many things, but I think that when you're in a conversation with someone and you enter the deep end of the pool, I think it's super important to go head first into whatever it is that's going on, whatever is coming up, whatever is coming to the surface, and work through it, because these are things that clearly you've been suppressing, you haven't wanted to release. I'm just going on tangents, but point is, we get to that deep part of the pool and he says, you know, I don't want to talk about it anymore. We can save that conversation for another day. I pushed further because I want to break those barriers when they present themselves, but it didn't happen. I don't know what he was going to say. He did say that when he has a lot of free time right now. So he's like, you know, when you sit with your free time, you start to have like a lot of thoughts, which in my mind, when I think of that and when someone shares that with me, I think of people that are having suicidal thoughts, right? Or having existentialism thoughts, which can go hand in hand with suicide, or one can lead to the other. And I don't know, it made me think about what is the reason that God connected me to this man. Because I mean, I've met people before, right? You meet people at the bar, you meet people at the club, you meet people, bar and club are kind of the same. You meet people at the store, wherever, gas station. And some you connect with, and some you reach out to, some you exchange a few messages, you don't, nothing. Some you meet up with, some you don't. I should speak for myself. And in this case, you know, I opted to meet with him. And it was a great conversation. And I know that this won't be the last time that I see him. I know that I can tell that he has a great heart and he's a genuine person. And I know that I want to be his friend. I know that I want to be there for him. I want to be supportive of him. I want to know what he was going to say at that table when we were having dinner tonight. I want to know what he thinks the problem is. I want to know his deepest, darkest secrets, and I want to help him see them from a different perspective. And I think it's just some of those really, excuse me, if I learned how to edit these videos, which, watch me in a couple of years, I'll figure it out. I would edit out all these coughs. It's those small connections that we don't really understand that are those non-coincidental connections. I'm not saying I'm here to save that man's life. If he is suicidal, to transform his life, I'm not saying we're meant to get married. I don't know. Maybe we are meant to get married. You know, my mom has this joke where she's like, every other week, you think you met like your life partner. Well, sometimes it does feel that way. Yeah, it could be a twin flame, false flame, whatever the hell you want to call it. But the purpose of this video is things don't happen by coincidence. You meet the people that you are supposed to when you are supposed to meet them through different facets. And what I am wanting to push forward through this video is, if something doesn't make sense, don't always try to make sense of it. Be in the moment, and I think the purpose of it will come to you. If it doesn't come to you in that moment, it may come to you later in a future date. It may come to you later that night. It may come to you down the line in years, right? When you start to see the connections of things. The other purpose of this video is start to notice connections and things, right? Start to pay attention. And by paying attention, I don't just mean auditive and visual. I mean in all the senses. Pay attention to how you feel. Pay attention to what your thoughts are. Pay attention to numbers, music, just awareness, right? Awareness. Be more aware. Try to be more present. And I promise you that you will start to see the unique ways in which the universe, spirit, or God is trying to communicate with you. Also, if you have someone that you have connected with recently or that you're connected with, just know that it's for a reason. And even the, you know, vice versa. Excuse me. When situations don't work out, that's also for a reason. And we may not understand it. And you can fight it over and over again. And that won't change the outcome. Maybe that's making me sad. Because sometimes I think we've all fought for people or things that ultimately we didn't have because we weren't supposed to have them. We were only supposed to have them in that moment, or we were only supposed to know that person for that moment. So, yeah. Stay tuned for, did I meet my soulmate? Did I have dinner with my soulmate last night? I mean, this cough medicine is clearly getting to me, and it's not even prescribed. It's over-the-counter stuff. But did I have dinner with my future husband? I don't know. Will this friendship die in 2 weeks? I don't know. Just dive into it. Dive into the deep end of the pool, whether you can swim or you can't. Trust that you will make it to the surface, even when you go to the deepest parts. Thank you for watching. Leave your comments, leave your thoughts. I know this video was all over the place, but it was a message that I wanted to get out this evening. And I hope that it's a message that resonates with you, that makes sense, that strikes some type of curiosity in you, and that pushes you to be more present in everything that you do and everywhere that you are and everyone that you interact with. Please comment, like, share, subscribe, and let me know what you think, because I'd love to hear it. Thank you.